You can't complain about or ask about wanting better for Asian Americans without supporting Asian American. This guy right here, he's doing, I'm gonna support him, right? But a lot of the times when they say, and because I'm in the entertainment as well as you, I've met a lot of folks where they say Asian Americans, but they only mean them. And I mean, I'm sure you've read it.
It definitely spares that for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Lucky Boys Podcast.
Surviving, and that's the thing. When you're in survival mode, you can't get in a mode of thriving. But now we're making that transition because our parents did the surviving, and yes, a lot of us are still surviving out here, but we're not like at the level of as our parents. I mean, because they can't speak the language for the most part when they're coming here. They're taking the most low-level jobs available to them, right? And with the most fucked up hours, and the most fucked up conditions. So, and just so that, and I thank all of the parents that make that sacrifice so that people like us now can pick up that mantle and continue that trend for future generations.
Yeah, and I think going back to what we were saying before is that Asian Americans getting into the creative field, being the people in the room, being the people that are, creating that content, to not be afraid to do that now, because I feel like we're stuck in a mode of thinking where we have to continue on this survival mode.
I see that.
But if people have that inclination to be creative, I say go for it, because we need you. We need people like you now. You know, and to take time and build that skill set
and nurture that. And you know what?
And nurture it.
I think it's also very important to support the people that are doing it. I think that goes a long way. I think part of wanting this whole, you can't complain about or ask about wanting better for Asian Americans without supporting Asian American. This guy right here, he's doing, I'm gonna support him, right? But a lot of the times when they say, and because I'm in the entertainment as well as you, I've met a lot of folks where they say Asian Americans, but they only mean them. And I mean, I'm sure you've read it.
It definitely spares that for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Like they're not okay with you thriving as an Asian American, but they're okay with themselves. So when they say Asian American, I gotta sometimes read between the lines. I'm like, you're not talking about Asian Americans. You're talking about you.
That's where I felt
You're
bad.
not talking about us.
I felt bad with that PBS. I saw people on the Twitter feed saying, hey, it's great, but you guys forgot about the South Asians, because like I don't see myself as the Koreans, the Filipinos, the Chinese. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, but man, that's Asian American history has been absent and disappearing for so long. That's one thing at a time. But yeah, they're right. They didn't feel inclusive in that group, and I really felt bad, especially South Asians. They don't get no love from that.
Yeah, and we actually had a few South Asians reach out to us asking us to highlight some of their stories.
Yeah.
Through a podcast that's not even like huge, and they're asking for that. I mean, it's moving, but it's at a snail's pace, and I want to see these. I wish I had $1 billion and the resources where I could make all these interesting films, and I know I'll make my money back.
Yeah.
I'll know that because I will take that risk. If I had those resources and the money, and I trusted the people behind the project, I would greenlight it, because number one, hey, everyone's tired of these remakes. All right, everyone's sick and tired of it. Just read between the lines, and you're giving them a fresh story, and you're having someone with a different perspective, different experiences.
That's why I like attending to these Asian American film festivals, because you get. When you go to Asian Americans, you don't go to see just Chinese or Korean. You get to see a lot.
Yeah.
And even films from China too.
Yeah.
What really astonished me was I went to CAM. CAM is Center Asian American Media in San Francisco. Went to the film festival in 2016, 17. Never experienced opening night at the Castro Theater. It was a South Asian American film, Tiger Hunter. The line was wrapped around the block just to get tickets. I was like, get the fuck out of here. To see an Asian American film? I never seen that. Not even here in New York.
Yeah.
And those packed. And the film was good. I was like, wow, there's so much love in San Francisco. And it was like a mixture of like South Asian, Asian, Koreans, all that stuff on opening night. And this film I saw, like I heard Wong Kar-wai went there to see the film.
Chinatown Rising?
Yeah, it's a documentary about San Francisco's Chinatown, the history. My friend Josh and his dad directed it with my other friend James.
You said it's a documentary?
It's a documentary. It's about segregation to the civil rights movement to gentrification. It's like a huge span of history.
That's like hundreds of years.
Yeah, imagine Asian American, PBS Asian American condensed into 2 hours.
Wow.
It was tight. But Wong Kar-wai was there to see it. I mean, a famous
Hong Kong director.
Yeah, the Hong Kong director to
Yeah.
go see an Asian American film. Impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And we need that, you know. I think CAM and all these Asian American film festivals shows that. I think I encourage all you inspiring actors, writers to attend these Asian American film festivals, even virtually if you can't go. Just support and see what's out there.
Was that like kind of your gateway drug? Like attending these like festivals, was that how you discovered these other Asian talents, Asian artists?
Not really. I think it was me taking an Asian American Studies class in college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it was mandatory. I mean, it's not mandatory. It was electives. Like, do you want to test? Like, absolutely. We weren't taught in the educational system. I'm paying for it, so why not? So I took the class, learned about all these authors, these movies, these documentaries. Like, I didn't know who was Vincent Chen before I took that class. I'm like, Vincent who?
Oh my gosh. Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
I didn't even know about the LA. I knew about that, but I didn't know the other side.
You didn't
of the
know the
story.
other side.
I didn't know about that. And I read all these books. I'm like, blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started to tapping in. My professor Kurt's like, oh, there's a festival here, this film coming up. And Justin Lin actually came to Hunter College and was promoting Finishing the Game. I think that was his second film after Better Luck Tomorrow. Like, he was just screening in colleges in the Asian American Studies course. Because this is way before Facebook and everything. So he was just trying to promote, how do I get this and how do I get my fans the attention? And that was the way, you know. And that was my gateway drug. I was like, wow, I want more. I checked it out. This is before Netflix was streaming. I had to rent the Asian American movies like Saving Face, Alice Wu's first film.
Oh man, I have to tell you, like the only way I could have gone Asian American films was going on eBay and freaking like looking up these titles and DVDs, and then they would cost like so much money. But it's like I want to see us represented, so I'm gonna pay up, you know, and see.
This new generation doesn't get that. They don't get. They think like, oh,
yeah,
$30. Come on,
Yeah,
$30
exactly.
is nothing. You know.
That's like I feel like also this generation is, and our generation too, is about fitting in, right?
Yeah.
And then not thinking that your story, your experience is important. I think that's key to like look at yourself and your history and not just try to fit into this world now, you know.
Make it to fit into yours.